But yeah, so I'm here in Sweden now, and I'm actually moving here permanently from the start of May, and yeah, it's a big change. I kind of so basically my girlfriend's Swedish, which is why I'm moving over here anyway. But yeah, I've worked in a kind of somewhat corporate job in finance in London, and I've done that for like the best part of the last 6 years now. And I used to live in London. I lived in Pimlico for a little bit of time. I lived in Putney for a little bit of time, and my family home is in the outskirts. And yeah, so basically, I've kind of always grown up there. I've kind of always lived there. I've grown up in London, and I've always known that I wanted to change. And then I met a Swedish girl at a wedding, and she ended up being my girlfriend. And yeah, I didn't know that my change would be Scandinavia. I never even thought this country as a place to go and visit or anything like that, but it's stunning here. Scandinavian summers are, honestly, they're beautiful, they're breathtaking. Some really nice sunsets, nice people, quite reserved but nice people, and a nice pace of life. And I'm kind of at a point right now where I'm working my day job and also my side hustle, and it's getting quite difficult. Like, I work from home in Sweden. I haven't really got any friends here, so I can feel a little bit isolated sometimes, a little bit like I don't have anyone to speak to or anything to kind of do other than work. So I get quite caught up in my work. So yeah, I've kind of been pondering on whether I'm going to quit my day job, but with that comes a lot of like drawbacks, and it's kind of, okay, well, I'm not going to have as much money, and then I have much more reliance on my business. And I guess being thrown in the deep end is a good thing, because you have no option to make it work. But I've been working pretty hard to make it work anyway, and we've grown a business in the space of 1 year to a fairly decent level. And yeah, throughout this year, we're going to keep trying to grow that. I think the thing is, like, it sounds cliche, but the security of having a paycheck, that's a real thing. Like, I know that I'm getting a certain amount of money each month, and I feel like I'm a little bit more reluctant to perhaps quit my job and sacrifice that. But there's so much more I want to do with my life, and I know that if I just stay doing this and stay in a job and not try and build something for myself, I will regret it. So yeah, there's a few things that I kind of want to do, and yeah, I don't really want to be tied down to a desk like 9 to 5 contracted hours. I want to be able to wake up in the morning, go to the gym, come back, do some work, maybe go to the lake, do some fishing. I don't know, like, if I have enough money at some point, buy a boat and spend some days on the water. One thing that I've noticed getting older is you always say that you're going to make time to do something, and a lot of the time you never get around to doing it. For example, was going to qualify with the AAT, which is kind of like an accounting qualification, but it's not a chartered accountancy qualification. And I always thought I'll get qualified with that, but then when I do that, I'll go traveling, and then I'll come back and I'll do the chartered accountancy exams. Then I passed my AAT, and it was during COVID, so obviously there'll be no traveling, but I had, rented an apartment in London, I had bills, and I had a job where I thought there was progression, and I then started doing my ACA exams, because I see everyone else that's around me, they're a little bit older than me, they're still doing their exams. I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to crack on with this, I'm going to do this now. Then I do the chartered accountancy exams. I'd done them in 2.5 years, so I qualified at 23, I believe, or just turned 24. And then I start my business straight away. Like, in my mind, when I qualified, that was when I was going to take some time off, and I'd then go and perhaps travel or go and spend some time in America with some family, or Australia with some family, or something like that. When can I take a break? Because as I'm getting older, I'm probably going to have more responsibilities. Like, if I end up having a child one day, if I end up buying an apartment, having a mortgage or something like that, then I'm way more tired down and I have way more responsibilities. I can't just go and quit my job to go traveling or to try and enjoy my life. I've got responsibilities now, and it's like, 1 minute I'm 16 years old and I've got all of these ideas, next minute I'm 25 and I've just not really done certain things at certain milestones. I've always achieved something and gone straight on to the next thing. I never really took time to kind of take a break and enjoy it. I wouldn't change it, to be fair. I wouldn't change it. But I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And I think it kind of comes down to perhaps leaving my day job and kind of, you know, saying goodbye to that security, but then freeing up time for me to focus on certain things that I want to do. Perhaps, you know, I can get some training down in Thailand. Perhaps I could go to another country and, you know, just experience some different things. It doesn't have to be a long time, you know. It could just be, you know, a few trips here and there for a couple of weeks at a time or something. I kind of want to just have freedom. I don't want to have the chains of being employed. I just think for the lifestyle that I want to live, I think it's better to try and build something for myself and see how it goes. And if it doesn't work out, I can always get another job. But yeah, we're figuring it out. So yeah, that's what I'm going to try and do this year. I'm going to try and do more things that I perhaps wouldn't do and just try to keep fit and grow the business and see where things go. Peace out. See you later. So we're in All Stars right now, and I've got about 40 minutes until my Thai boxing class. Just gonna do Muay Thai for an hour, then boxing for an hour.
I got an empire of emotional squad, see me cruising in my go-kart. I'm Warhol, I'm Wario when I'm in Mario Kart. Top in the charts, ace in my parts, chop on my locker when running these bars. Coca-Cola veins, I'm insane, trip through memory lane. Out in that rush, you know, and I see my own white shadows. And tattoo calls right with a bad diagnose, coke-filled nose. We weird for the motherfucker boys, cashing the sad boys out in Europe, sipping crystal. I'm smoking loud with my lost boys, all this money don't make me sad though. Rubber bands in my pants, bro, don't close your eyes and lean back though. Y'all ain't ready for the lean attack though.
And then one of the guys I was sparring was this Swedish dude who looked like Bradley Cooper, very handsome. The other guy I was sparring was an English guy who was about, I think he said he was 38 years old. And he's also from London. And he moved to Sweden when he was 25, so the same age as me. And he basically had a 4-bedroom house, had 2 children, had a wife. They was together for 12 years, had a boat, had 2 cars. Things didn't work out in their relationship. He kind of lost a lot of his things, but I guess he didn't just lose his material possessions like the house and his cars and stuff. His lifestyle changed completely. After I had that conversation with him, you know, I kind of like reflected on that, because I went through something, I wouldn't say nowhere near as similar, like something a little bit similar, but nowhere near as like intense or as difficult as what he went through. And I was just kind of like thinking about life and how certain people go through things and they struggle and they find it tough. And I was kind of like thinking about that, and, you know, going through life, you want to kind of be able to emotionally and mentally prepare yourself for when bad times are going to come. So that was a really interesting conversation. He also said like a lot of his friends were from his wife's friendship group and things like that. And so he had become quite lonely, and going down to the MMA gym was a way that he could speak to people, meet people, and kind of, you know, retain some sort of a social life. And I really resonated with that, because I've been here for like 6 weeks now, and I get lonely. Like, I haven't really got many friends here. If I haven't like socializing in Sweden and making friends in Sweden might be a little bit more difficult to doing so in the UK. You know, in England, a lot of people are a little bit more outgoing, and in Sweden, they're a little bit more reserved. So that was interesting. It was a really interesting conversation I had with him. But yeah, it did get me thinking. And I was just thinking, in life, perhaps we shouldn't take things for granted, or we should be more conscious about how good things are for us. Like, have good health, if you have a good job, if you have a job that you enjoy, or if you're able to buy yourself a nice car. If you have that in your life, then take a moment just to be grateful for it and think about that. It just kind of struck a chord with me yesterday. I was like, oh, I need to be a little bit more grateful. So that's something I'm going to try working on for myself.
We could get it how we want it, baby. I just need to know that you trust in me. Girl, you got me buzzing like a bumblebee. Don't need no amounts, love your energy. Flying through the sky like spiral. Blowing on a bag with my eyes closed. I'ma risk it all just to see you. She told me, boy, you a damn fool. Yeah, I'm flying through the sky like spiral. Blowing on a bag with my eyes closed. I'ma risk it all just to see you. She told me, boy, you a damn fool. I can't lie, I'm so high. Wanna speak to